This video is sponsored by the EA Creator Network. Thank you to EA for sponsoring this video. And this is my final bucket list challenge that I got from Grim, and I saved the best till last. So for this build, I have to build an Afterlife abode based on my favourite book characters. So who is my favourite book characters? Well, I was so torn on which way to go for this because I love Throne of Glass, I love Aelin, I love Rowan, I also really love Fourth Wing with Violet and Xaden. But ACOTAR just has a place in my heart because it really got me back into reading. I started reading Shadow and Bone last year, and that made me want to read a bit more because I was like, I haven't done it in a while, but I wasn't massively into it. And then I read ACOTAR and I have not stopped since. You can see my bookshelf is just slowly growing and growing. I've also got another shelf above my desk which has books on. So yeah, I've been a massive book fan ever since. So I just had to make one of their builds. But I've already done Resahder's townhouse, I've already done the House of Wind, and I don't feel comfortable doing the Moonstone Palace yet because there's not enough description on the layout, and the same with River House. I'm hoping in the future with more books I can finally build those. So the other option was to do the cabin, and the cabin's great anyway because, you know, there's a very famous scene from the cabin in Akamath. So it was like the perfect one to do, and I didn't do the version with Feyre's paintings everywhere because I couldn't find any of Feyre's paintings on the gallery, and I do not have the skills to be able to do what people do with gallery art. So it's before she has painted everything. So what do we know about the cabin? We know as they walk in, on the left hand side is the living area and on the right hand side is the kitchen, and between them is a dining table. There's also a hall which leads to 2 bedrooms and a shared bathing area. And in that bathing area is a sunken bathtub that can fit Illyrian wings. So I did this huge bathtub and 2 people can bathe in it. And I did place a bench in here as well because it is mentioned there is a bench. When it comes to the living area, all that is mentioned is that there is a leather sofa, lots of throws. So I did add a couple of baskets with throws in, and I found a leather sofa that had a throw on top of it, and I placed that in there. There is a mention of firewood, like you don't have to get firewood because the house will just magically make it appear there. So to me that must mean there is a fireplace, so I did place a fireplace in the living area. And all there is for the kitchen is, it says there is wooden countertops, so I did full wood counters. And I did place a little pot on the side because Maud does leave a pot of food for Feyre when she's left there alone. And I did get Feyre to make some soup for herself and Resahder. And before I go any further, I'd just like to say you can use my creator code STORM at checkout if you're purchasing on the EA app or the Sims website. It is not a discount code, but it does help me a little bit as I make a small commission every time somebody uses my code. You can use these on all packs and all bundles excluding the Build Your Own bundle. Like I said, not a discount code, but it really does help me out because I get a little bit of a commission. So it's just a really nice thing for us creators to get that little help. So I kept the rooms pretty basic. All that is mentioned in the rooms is there is dresses with drawers because she goes through the drawers when she gets her cream sweater and her leggings, which I'm sick of the leggings and the cream sweater. Can we have something a little bit more fashionable, please? There was also a supply closet, which I totally forgot about until the end because that's where she finds all the paints and stuff. So I was really struggling on where to put this. So I ended up doing it where you have to go through the bathroom to get to the supply closet, which sounds really stupid, but it's just because I couldn't fit anywhere else because I was doing this in Mount Komarebi on top of the mountain because it is on a mountain. So I really wanted to do it on this location. I've always wanted to do a cabin on this location. So yeah, you have to go into the bathroom to be able to get to the supply closet, which I did put a couple of weapons in and also paint pots and stuff like that, and an easel. There is also a steam room which is somewhere attached to the house because Feyre says that she hears a door slam at one point when Resahder's kicked out. So that must mean it is attached to the house, and from within the house you don't access it from outside. So again, I did this off the bathroom. I just thought it made the most sense. I also wanted to add subtle hints to the night court, so I did go ahead and add blue colours throughout. So if you look at the beds, I've used this dark blue colour, and I think on some of the blankets and the throws I've used blue, and also the rugs. And a couple of other little hints, I think as well, maybe did I do the curtains blue? I think I did the curtains blue as well. I also placed a chimney in the bathroom. I just thought it looked really too cold because it says the bath is made of stone because it said it had a stone edge. so I had a feeling it was all made of stone, and I was like, that feels like it'd be cold. I know the house is magic, but I was like, just to make it look a little bit more cozy, I did place a chimney in there. It also mentions that there is candles around the bath, as well as, it always says black pine soap or black tar. I can't remember exactly what it was, but a black bar of soap. So I did add that in as well. In both of the bedrooms, they are pretty similar, just slightly laid out. Like I said, I have the beds, which I've added blue. I've added an ottoman, which is blue in there. They both have a wardrobe each, and one of them has a dresser. I don't think I did a dresser in the other one. And both of them have desks in. I didn't put any technology in here. I wanted to keep it true to the books, but if you wanted to, you could add maybe like the typewriter looking one from Cottage Living would work quite well. A little hallway leading down to the bathroom at the end. I just kept it really basic and put two like accent tables with a few things on with some artwork above them. Also, because I love reading so much, and I think I have got a little bit of an audience of readers because I have done some book builds, I would love to know who your favourite characters are and what your favourite books are. Currently I am reading The Cruel Prince. Well, I'm on the second book. I can't remember what it's called because I've not started it yet. I've just finished the other one a few days ago. I've not had time to read a lot in the past couple of weeks, so I'm getting through things slowly. I'm not massively enjoying it just because it is more young adult, and I prefer something a little bit with a little bit of spice at least. But it's still quite a nice story. It's a bit of a palette cleanser before I go into something else, because I know Onyx Storm is going to ruin me when that comes out in January, and that's most probably what I'm going to get to next after I finish the Folk of the Airs series, which is The Cruel Prince. But I love Jude as a character. If you didn't know, I have started a new TikTok and a new YouTube channel. Again, I say new, it is actually my old first YouTube channel that I've started up again, and I've been doing like fashion stuff that's all fantasy based because I do enjoy wearing fantasy style clothing or historical clothing. It's not really, I put my own spin on it, try to modernize it so I can wear it out daily. I don't go out in a ball gown daily. It would be very impractical as much as I really would love to, but I love just putting this dress on and for fun. I had to wear it for this video. I was like, it gives Feyre's night court sort of. It's a bit more poofy. Hers I feel like is a little bit more sexy, which is not for me, but I just had to wear it for this video. It just made sense. But yeah, I'd love to know your favourite books. And just book suggestions. I'm not going to get round to them super fast. I've got a lot of books here which I need to start reading. The one that I'm most excited about, and it's a recent one I got, is from Blood and Ash. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I've only got that single book, and I got it for such a good price. I looked online and it was like £15–20, and I was like, that's expensive for a book, a paperback as well. And I went on Vinted and I found a seller, and she was selling it for like £2, and the delivery was like £1 to £2, I can't remember exactly. And it's in really good condition, tiny bit of a bent spine, but all of my books have that anyway. I have ulnar tunnel. If you don't know what that is, it's like carpal tunnel, but I have it in the other side of my hand. So holding my book for me is extremely painful unless I crack the spine, because otherwise I've got to hold it in a specific way, then I get really bad pain in my hand. So yeah, all of my books, the spines are ruined and people hate me for it. But yeah, if you do want to follow my fantasy channel though, I will link it down below if I remember. If not, I renamed it Fantasy with Storm, and it is the same over on TikTok. Actually, on TikTok it's StormDesign with 2 eyes, but when you can have a different name from your username, it is Fantasy with Storm, and I'm just slowly starting to grow that. But it's really weird going back to my old channel. I deleted all of my old content on there because I did used to do makeup and fashion on there, and it just sort of got ditched when I started doing Sims content. Anyway, back to this build, because I always get so sidetracked. No matter what I'm talking about, I end up talking about something I am definitely not supposed to talk about. But with this build, with the outside, I kept things really, really basic because nothing's really mentioned. She mentions little windows when she's lied in bed, I think. So I kept the windows on the smaller side. They're not like teeny tiny. I wanted to keep it a little bit open and airy. Otherwise it'd be very dark, especially because I wanted it to be lit more by candles. So I have the hanging candles coming from the roof, as well as little candles dotted around the place. And I am using my favourite candles of all time, which is the Eco Lifestyle candles, the ones you can make from the candle making thing. But what I do is get them from Debug, and you can set the burn height to them, which it's just I love doing this, especially with like Halloween type builds, creepy type builds, old style builds, anything where there's candles and you want candles to be at different heights. You can set these to mostly burned, some burned. You can have them fully burned out so they won't even light. So at this point, this is where I was like, where I have not done the supply closet, and I wrote everything down. I tab all of my books when it comes to builds. I can't see them because the tabs are the other way around. I tab whenever I see anything about a building for related purposes. So I had this one tabbed because I knew I wanted to build it. So yeah, now I'm working on the supply closet, getting those paint cans in there. There is mention of weapons being around the place, so I did add a couple of those in there as well. But I think this would be a perfect Afterlife abode for any of the characters in ACOTAR, a little bit of their holiday home in the afterlife. So I'm going to say to Graham that this is my final bucket list challenge complete.